So I was reflecting on this reversed three of swords that came up on the full moon just recently, and how it represents that pain inside of us, and how it's such an easy thing to avoid and to hide and to judge. It's so natural that anything that's painful will run away from, and it's such an irony that taught reflex to run away from pain, which, in some fronts, in some stories, it's very valuable. When physical pain comes along, hey, let's move our hand out of the fire. That's necessary, and yet this card doesn't refer to those physical manifestations of pain, but more the mental pain and the mental trauma that touches our hearts, which is something when we're faced with our shame, for example, sometimes when we're faced with our fears and our self-doubts, and when we're faced with the traumas of the past that come up in our lives, and it's this that's very easy to repress and to run away from, and we do so unconsciously. And the irony there is that if we could only just listen to the small pain and the small moments of hurt that are coming up again and asking to be felt and asking to be witnessed and owned, and if we could only embrace the lessons that they have to teach us, then a lot of the time that pain wouldn't need to get stronger. The pain wouldn't need to get louder. If we don't repress something, it doesn't need to start shouting. If we listen to the whispers of our pain in our life, then we can hear the message that it's trying to tell us. We can maybe be prompted to the changes that we need to make. We can maybe really own that pain, and instead of the shame and the fear that might surround it, we can celebrate it as a part of our past, wanting to be felt and released and healed, and we can see the beauty of the message and the healing that's in it. And then, really and only then, can we learn from any healing experience, when we can actually experience deeper levels of healing of that past. And yet here we are, we've taught ourselves to hide away from those traumatic experiences, and to turn our blind eye and face the other direction, and pretend that these whispers of pain that come echoing from the past are not really important to pay attention to, are something to ignore and avoid. And that's what's going to make life shout sometimes. And it's very tricky owning our pain, especially when it does have to manifest in a physical format, and when it does actually manifest in our body. But I'm still in the firm belief, and I always will be, that all of our physical body is just a manifestation of what's going on inside of us on a mental and emotional level, and they're just reflective energies in different levels of vibration. And so everything that even takes place in our physical is something that's happening on a mental level, and we can identify it. We can see the pain that's there inside of us, that we're holding on to unconsciously, that we're fighting against rigidly. A part of us that simply and honestly wants to be embraced and accepted, and sometimes listened to, so that we can move on, so that we can learn, so that we can transform and change. Anyway, little musings about the pain of the Three of Swords. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day and week and whatever.